Hey guys, it's me, Carly, coming at you with another video, and today I am back with another The Vampire Diaries video because I finally made it to season 5. And I know it's old news for a lot of you people, but I'm late to the fandom, and season 5, I'll be honest, is hot garbage. It is like seriously one of the most atrocious. It is seriously like the most atrocious seasons, and we know that CW like has a season 4 curse. Like Arrow season 4 was bad. Flash season 4 and 5 also bad. Yeah, like there's like a season 4 curse of the CW because in season 4, that's when Elena officially breaks up with Stefan and tells, well, actually, it's technically season 3, but, like, actually, was it season 4 or 3? No, at the end of season 4, or season 3, Elena breaks up with Stefan, and then, like, the whole Sire Bond deal happens, and it's so gross. Actually, she doesn't break up with him until, like, the 3rd episode of season 4, and then Damon's just so disgusting. But now we're to the dreaded season 5, and it is like, it's so awful. And the doppelganger storyline was retconned because originally Tatia, Catherine, and Elena were supposed to be the only doppelgangers. I don't know why I just did this. But the only doppelgangers in existence, because it was to break the curse of like the hybrid, or you need like a Petrova's blood to make a curse, which is why Catherine ran away from Klaus, and then he punished her by killing her family and making her stab herself and burn herself, and it was just okay. But then you have season 5, which, by the way, Catherine is just the bitch. It's like a cockroach problem. Like, you think you get rid of the problem, and then she comes back. And the bitch just refuses to die. Like, she's in hell, literally in hell. She just refuses to die, and then she possesses Elena's body. But season 5, like I said, is garbage. Because at the end of season 4, we meet Silas, who happens to be Stefan's doppelganger, even though that doppelganger pretty much just exists to be a nuisance and to give us this crap that versions of Stefan and Elena are meant for each other and the universe is pulling them together. And it only was believable because Nina and Paul have great chemistry. So, imagine your doppelganger putting you in a safe, and then putting you in the bottom of the lake because, I don't know, he's jealous of you, that the fact that you can die and he can't. Like, he just wants to, because I remember in an earlier season, like in season 2, where Damon, Elena, and Alaric go meet this library lady, and then the library is scared because she thinks it's Catherine. Sorry, that's my boyfriend messaging me. She thinks it's Catherine. But it's actually Elena. And she said that doppelgangers tend to torture the people who look exactly like them, and that's what Silas did to Stefan. Like, he put Stefan in a safe, took his daylight ring, and then let Stefan drown for 3 months while his older brother and the love of his life are having sex. And it's just so weird. Like, first of all, and then it's just so like gross that Damon would even do that. I don't expect anything else because Damon's a sexual predator, and I'm gonna keep saying that, and I've said that many times. Damon's a sexual predator. So then finally, when Stefan does get out of the lake, it's Katsia. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I apologize if I'm not. she saves Stefan. It's the girl she got cheated on by Silas with Amara, who is now the original doppelganger, even though Amara is not supposed to exist. That was horribly retconned, and it was just really awful. And like the whole doppelganger storyline was awful. I mean, Stefan and Elena fell in love organically and naturally, and he had feelings for Catherine at one point, even though Catherine raped Stefan. But then he fell in love with Elena for Elena, and you want to know why I know that? It's because he couldn't kiss Catherine. He couldn't kiss Elena because he felt it wasn't her, and it wasn't, and he figured out soon after they kissed that it was Catherine in Elena's body. And then Catherine's character just took a turn for the worse. I'm like, just let the bitch die and let her get peace with her daughter. I'm like, just let that happen, because I know Catherine is not a good person. I know she's done horrible things like rape and mass murder people and use people for her own benefit. I know she's a horrible person, and she's framed as a villain. But Stefan, the person she abused the most, was the one to show her kindness. And she should have just got her peace and died, because she wasn't always awful. She just became a vampire to escape Klaus and be useless to him, essentially. But he still got his vengeance on her. And then they made Catherine dick hungry for Stefan, as if this girl didn't spend 500 years running from a crazy hybrid and have her baby yanked away from her. Wouldn't it have made sense for Catherine to do everything in her power to track down her daughter instead of just being boy crazy? And it turned out Nadia was tracking down Catherine because Nadia is Catherine's daughter. And it's like, why couldn't you have just had how come you didn't have Catherine also try and find her daughter? Try to find her daughter at some point. Because it just seems very misogynistic to make Catherine suddenly obsessed with Stefan's dick, even though it's some good dick. And Paul and Nina have great chemistry. But yeah, and then Catherine can't pass through Bonnie, which we'll get to that in a minute, because Bonnie's the anchor, and now Catherine's in hell, and Nadia got to have peace, and Catherine should have found peace with Nadia, and I just want, Catherine at that point is really not the badass you think she is. And Damon, of course, would be the one to feed her to Silas, even though he was obsessed with Catherine for 150 years, for 145 years to be more specific. And it was just really annoying. Then, Bonnie and Jeremy were at their prime in season 2 because Stephen R. McQueen and Kat Graham have really great chemistry together. And I don't care what anyone says, Bonnie and Jeremy were a great couple. But then Jeremy is a terrible boyfriend because he had an affair with Ghost, his ex, who was a ghost. Bonnie is so undeserving of love that apparently she deserves to get cheated on with a ghost. And to think that Bonnie died for this dumb bastard. Sorry, Jeremy lovers, but he was not a good boyfriend at all. Jeremy has never been a good boyfriend. He was not really that great of a boyfriend to Vicky and didn't really care about her until she died. And then he was compelled to forget about her. And you think with the Hunter thing, he can't be compelled, so all of the memories that were compelled away would come back to him. So I think if a person can no longer be compelled due to being supernatural or whatever, their compelledness their compelled memory should come back, not just when a original dies or when they become a vampire. And then there was Anna, who he liked, and then he like asked Anna to turn him into a vampire so he could be with Vicky, his first girlfriend, which, by the way, they always like mention Vicky, who is she is just irrelevant as fuck, because one, she is just, there was nothing to her character other than the fact she was Matt's sister, and that all she did was, when she was on the show, was do drugs and have sex. Like, that's literally what she did. She did nothing else on the show. Like, she had no character development. She turned into a vampire, got sexually taken advantage of by Damon, of course. She just got taken advantage of, and then she dies. And she's just fucking irrelevant. Matt Donovan on the show is also irrelevant. Sorry, that's my boyfriend again. Sorry, messaging my boyfriend. Okay, that was really quick. But anyways, yeah. So Bonnie is just treated so poorly, and I've talked about this so many times. Like, it's like she can't even come back to life. She doesn't get to have her magic, and she can't get one friend who isn't using her. Like, all of her friends don't notice she's dead for 4 months out of the time, for like a whole summer, and then she has to get Jeremy. She has to talk to Jeremy, and Jeremy has to speak for her because they can't see Bonnie, and they have to comfort. She has to like be the one to comfort her friends at her own funeral, and it's just so pathetic because it's like, you all don't really care about her until you need her magic. It's how it appears, and it's like really, really annoying. And all she does is save you, and like Elena and Damon's irrelevant asses. Like, everyone wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for Bonnie, and then she brings Jeremy back to life. And then Jeremy sat over Bonnie after she dies, so 3 girlfriends die, and he only ever acts like he cares about him until they're in a coffin or somewhere else. And we're almost to the season where we get to meet Kai, because I've already met the second set of Parker twins, Liv and Luke, and Liv is a bitch because she lied to Bonnie, and I would be a little livid too if the girl I met lied to me. And they treat Bonnie like some object to be had. Like, okay, once we're done with her, we can get rid of her. We don't need her anymore. And they just used Bonnie, and Bonnie don't deserve that. That ain't right. And then you have what ruins the show for me, Delana. Oh, man. Like, Delana is Damon. We learned that Damon was tortured for 5 years in Augustine. And then he kills Dr. Wes Maxfield, played by Rick Costnet, a.k.a. Eddie from The Flash. So he, like, just mutilates the guy, which was actually one of the few justifiable kills. But, like, everybody is friends with Damon, like, at this point, and they talk about relationship problems as if Damon is the go-to guy for relationship advice. I mean, this guy spent 4 months, 3 to 4 months banging Elena while his little brother was drowning, and Elena was having dreams about Stefan having this horrible feeling, and all Damon could say is, I want you to know that I am secure enough in our relationship that I am not jealous of you having dreams of your ex-boyfriend. And I'm like, excuse me? Ex-boyfriend? No, Matt Donovan is just nothing more than an ex-boyfriend. We'll talk about Matt Donovan in a little bit. as nothing more than an ex-boyfriend. But Stefan is your little brother that you've known your whole life, even though you've dedicated your entire vampire existence to ruining his life. Like, why? You wanted to be a vampire. And I know they want to shove the narrative that Stefan technically forced Damon to turn, which I guess is true, but, like, Damon's actions led up to all of that. Damon was fine drinking Catherine's blood, as I said in other videos. Damon was fine with being a vampire. Damon was doing everything he could because he was really obsessed with Catherine, and he wanted to stick it in Catherine. And he's so fucking sexually predatory, and everything they do frames Damon off as, it frames him as funny, and it's, disgusting. And then another thing. Matt Donovan. Oh, also, before him, Tyler Lockwood is pretty much like Bonnie. Like, just, he's absent until the plot needs him. Whenever the plot needs Tyler Lockwood has been absent for the past few episodes. Like, I think he was absent for like a season and a half, and then he finds out Caroline banged, or as he puts, screwed Klaus, and rightfully so, he is really angry, and anyone who says that slut shaming is an idiot, because you don't sleep with the guy who, you know, killed your boyfriend, who abused your boyfriend at one point. No, not just abused, he enslaved your boyfriend, he abused your boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, but boyfriend at the time. He drowned your boyfriend's mom, he killed your friend's aunt, he has killed several other people, he forced Stefan to turn off his humanity and become the Ripper again, he's murdered Catherine's entire family, and you still had the nerve to, you all had the nerve to drink to her death, and you all had the nerve to blame Catherine for things that were caused by Damon. Everything that has been done on the show, pretty much, was basically transpired from Damon's obsession with Catherine. And I say obsession and infatuation because we all know he wasn't in love with Catherine. He was just infatuated with her and did not care that Catherine was raping his little brother. But then Caroline, sleeps with Klaus, and yes, she did feel bad about it. I'm just glad they didn't date. And honestly, I don't understand the obsession with Klaus and Caroline, because Caroline and Klaus, as much as they do have chemistry, but, his obsession with her, it just came out of nowhere. You saw it with Forwood, Tyler, Lockwood, and Caroline. Even if you don't like that shit, Tyler and Caroline were actually developed. They grew close together. And then it's any ship I like on the TVD, they just had to go and ruin it. And they ruined Forwood. I am Team Forwood. Team Stelena, even though I don't like Elena anymore because she dates Damon and just acts like it's no big deal. But yeah, she's just awful, and she's lost so much agency because all Elena does is talk about saving Stefan, and anytime she's having dreams of Stefan or those visions of Stefan, it's as if the vision she was having of Stefan, where Stefan and Elena were having visions of each other, they were together. That should have been the end game. Look how happy Elena looks. And she looks so comfortable around Paul. But I can't say the same around Ian, because I'm sorry, even though Nina and Ian dated, Nina and Ina just don't have that chemistry. And honestly, every time Elena's trying to get away from Damon, he always has to come near her, kiss her, grab her, stroke her face, the face stroking. Fucking stop it with that. Ugh, it's so gross. Ugh, I don't know why, but just please caress my face. Caress my, the caressing of, sometimes it's fine, Like, that's just so, when Damon does it, it's so gross. Anything he does, just, I mean, seriously, Nina doesn't look comfortable around Ian at all, and I'm not just saying that because I hate Nina, or I hate, Delana, but, like, she genuinely looks like a scared teenage girl, and he looks like a much older guy trying to hit on a much younger woman and abusing his power, and she just looks so meek and small and like get the fuck away from me. And I'm watching the show with my mom, and she is so tired of my anti-Damon rants. I'm like, just fucking die already, Damon, damn it. Like, just die. And I can't believe people are friends with him, and then he had the nerve to torture Catherine on her deathbed, as if anything. And again, I know, like, Catherine's awful, but, like, come on, did Damon have to be more awful back? It was so immature, and it was just so misogynistic. It's like, and then they were drinking to Catherine's death as if all the other characters haven't done the horrible things, even though the things they were toasting to were Damon's fault. Like, Vicky's death is Damon's fault. Let's see. What else about season 5? Oh, yeah. Anytime Damon talks about being close to shutting off his humanity, or, like, choking a woman that, I think her name was Maggie, until her head came off, and then making it look like Stefan did it. But it's okay, his humanity was off, as if Damon wouldn't go around doing shit like that anyway. It's like, what difference does it make? And of course it was a black girl. Like, Ketsia and Maggie were, like, portrayed as villainous and then killed off, and they were just portrayed as the crazy... Ketsia was the crazy ex, and then Maggie was a girl Enzo admired, and then of course she had to be like a brown girl, and then she had to have a brutal death that made it look like Stefan. I'm like, of course. I just feel like Damon murdering someone in a way that looks similar to Stefan and then framing Stefan for it, even though it wasn't Stefan, because that's what framing is, would just be something Damon would do. Like, to ruin his brother's life. And it would be much easier to sympathize with Damon, one, because Ian's not that great of an actor. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of that eyebrow waggle and that bulge G thing he does with his eyes and that sway. It's just like, he's not that great of an actor. He overacts. And it's just like, I didn't really want to see someone's fucking neck get squeezed. Like, neck stuff creeps me out. Just like, and I don't even like the idea of breaking someone's neck. So, but if you're gonna kill me with neck-related stuff, like, could you just, like, break it and fucking get it over with? Because it's just quick, like that. Don't actually do that, because I don't want to die yet. But still, I didn't need to see that, and then he left Enzo to die in a fire and couldn't go back for him. Like, really? And then he like, as if Damon did shut off his humanity. Who knows if he did or didn't. He claims he shut it off, but, like, what is the difference with Damon's humanity on and Damon's humanity off? Because Damon has done horrible things with it on. He's done plenty of horrible things with it on, and then his fans are annoying too. Like, they always justify anything he does. Like, where Stefan has been forced to do bad things to save people. Like, save Damon from Klaus. Save 2 little children. Save somebody from doing surgery or whatever. And Caroline forced Stefan to shut off his humanity in season 6, I believe. It was just really annoying. And I'm just like, everything about season 5 is just bullshit. And then there was Tom Avery, a nice man. He just seemed so nice and innocent, and it's like, yeah, you have a doppelganger. You have a dead doppelganger who is a witch, and he's like 2,000 years old, and then you have freaking, you have a vampire doppelganger, even though Tom Avery and Silas and Amara are the doppelgangers who were not supposed to exist. Because they retcon that whole doppelganger thing, and then Tom Avery just exists to die. Like, imagine being a character with so much life and potential, and your purpose is just to die. Anyways, season 5 is hot garbage. I'll tell you if I make it to season 6. But anyway, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and have a good one.